Hello everybody, Merry Christmas and welcome back to the Epilepsy channel. Today I'm going to do a part 2 to last week's video. I'm going to go into more detail of absence seizures and grand mal seizures, what it feels like before, during, and after having one of these seizures. So for absence seizures, I mentioned how time slows down, and it's mainly like my processing also slows down. Like I said, so my brain isn't really talking to itself or the rest of my body. And so that makes it seem like time slows down. Hours will go by and it won't feel like anything has really happened. But that is during an absence seizure. Before, every time that I've had an absence seizure, it's been when I wake up from either the night, just waking up in the morning, or I go down for a nap. So it's really hard to discern what is seizure and what is normal. It's hard to explain. I'll feel weird, which is basically the only good way to describe it. I'll feel like I'm not in control of my body. I'm kind of just like sitting in it. And it's just doing its own thing. But at the same time, I am in control of it. Mainly, I'm not. So that's before. And then, for during, like, my processing slows down. So somebody will ask me, where do you live? And I know where I live. I know that I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But what would I say? Probably, I would probably take a fair bit of time answering the question, if I answer the question at all, because I know the answer, but it won't transfer. And it's like that for all basic questions. I will know the answer, but my brain won't transfer it into my mouth. But afterwards, after an absence seizure, I feel drained. And I just kind of want to chill out and not do anything. My brain is rebooting itself, and it can't handle a whole lot of stuff. And so the best thing to do after an absence seizure is basically, with some precaution, do what you want. And I'll bet you that most of the time after somebody has an absence seizure, they're not going to want to do a whole lot. They're not going to want to go to the club. If they do want to go to the club, don't let them. But grand mal seizures. So this one is a little bit trickier, a little bit not trickier, because during I'm passed out, I can't feel anything. But beforehand, all of mine, I've had bad absence seizures. And so, but my most recent grand mal seizure it was very abnormal. I felt my face tighten up. And I bet you if you asked a neurologist that is not normal. But I felt my face tighten up, which is a feeling that I will not forget. It was very weird. But yeah, in the middle of it, I don't feel anything because I'm passed out and my brain's just literally off. And afterwards, it's going to be most people's instinct after a grand mal seizure to jump up and kind of try to grasp the situation. If you have somebody who is if you have a friend or somebody in your family who is an epileptic, I would suggest trying to help them calm down once they come back to. Tell them you've had a seizure, it's okay, and just help them sit back down because they will not have the balance to stand up, and it won't end up too good. So just if they're initially just laying down, most of the time, yeah, they'd be laying down. They can probably sit up. Don't let them stand up. Have something for them to lean against. So like a pillow. And just kind of help them make sure that they're calm and help them know that everything's okay. They will be taken care of, and then they will probably have some sort of anti-seizure, heavy-duty anti-seizure drug. Mine is clonazepam. And that will ground them and bring them back to that equilibrium. They will have some interesting side effects if they are at least prescribed clonazepam. I get hyper focused, and time slows down even more. I have a story. 2 stories. One, it was one of my first times taking clonazepam. My family and I used to collect those Albertsons Monopoly cards, and then if you know what I'm talking about, then you know that there's like 4 little rectangles inside the card that's like this big. And we had a stack this big that we just hadn't touched. And once it gets that big, it's going to be like hours of work to get it done. And when I take the clonazepam, I get hyper-focused and OCD. Like, hella OCD. And I took it upon myself to put them in not only numerical order, but alphabetical order. They had like a code on the bottom. It was like A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. But it wasn't like, it was like A, X, Q, 4, 7, 8. For an example. Somehow I put that in numerical and alphabetical order. And there had to have been around or over 100 easily. And after I got them in nice rows, I put them on the paper. And when I was done with that, I got up and I looked to my mom and I said, okay, so what's for lunch? And my mom looked at me and she said, Colin, it's dinner time. It's 5:30. I was like, no, it's only like noon. And she said, you've been doing that for 5 hours. It only felt like it was 30 minutes. And time flies by. Another story is my mom was at a church fair, and she was selling her Bible studies. And so I get very OCD, and I wanted to decorate her booth. And so what I did, she had 4 different books. So I got 2 of them, and put stacks of 5 and then one upright, kind of open. And it was not correct unless it was to the centimeter. Then it was perfect. So I got the 2 with the 2 up top, and then the smaller Bible studies were just in piles in the back. So from like a bird's eye view, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the middle up here were like cards and bookmarks and stuff that came with her publisher. And I don't know how long I was there, but I know I felt fine. But looking back, I definitely was not. I was still very drugged. And yeah, so when your friend takes a heavy duty anti-seizure medication, things will be a little weird for a while. They'll definitely wake up the next morning feeling a whole lot better. And you'll be able to see while they're taking the drug, you will be able to see the seizure go away. They'll act differently. And so, like, when I have a seizure, I don't really joke around. But what I do remember is the point when I kind of like click back to normal, and my parents say, yeah, he's back to normal. And yeah, so next week I'm going to go into greater detail of what to do when you see somebody or like when you see somebody have a seizure, what to do, what not to do. Debunk some more stereotypes. And so that's the plan for next week. Have happy holidays, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.